Truly African.
He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He is the Redeemer and the champion of liberty, of human equality. Let's salute him, fellow Ghanaians, the nation's founder, Sajifo Kwame Nkrumah. May God bless him, Ghana showboy, Africa's great song, Sajifo Dr. Nkrumah.
And we are live from the studios of Pan-African Television, broadcasting live from Abelinkpe here in Accra. It's my pleasure to welcome you to another edition of the mother of all talk shows, Alhaji and Alhaji. And we are kicking off at a time when the New Patriotic Party, the governing party, is outdooring its manifesto. The manifesto of the New Patriotic Party for the 2020 elections is being launched. And also today, the Convention People's Party is going to Congress to elect new executives. That is also happening as we speak. So two very important events that are happening as we are in the studio. But this week, major talking point has been what was supposed to be a simple, straightforward exercise that would obliterate the former administration's claim of having invested largely in infrastructure, having invested a lot into infrastructure, unrivaled, they have always said. The NPP said they were going to provide proof that they are rather the ones who have made unprecedented investments in infrastructure. Well, at the end, he left the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress so confident he is asking for a debate. And his conditions include the NPP even deciding who should moderate the debate and deciding the venue. That's how confident that particular exercise has left him. We'll be talking about that this morning. And then we'll also be talking about the question that is on everybody's mind. Exactly what is a Japa royalty supposed to do? Why do we need to mortgage our royalties for a period of time? And what are the terms of that arrangement? It's a question that Wakam and other advocacy group in the mining sector have been asking, and we are still yet to get some answers to. And then we'll be talking about an unprecedented leak. For the first time, the list of examiners, where they live, the schools they are, their addresses, their phone numbers were leaked. Students have that in their possession. WAEC says it will account for that. There have also been questions about some examination papers leaking. Well, WAEC says they do not acknowledge that there were any leaks, and so they can't be held responsible for any such leaks. So those are the three issues that will be engaging our mind this morning. Once again, welcome to the show. We are live on Pan-African Television, where we are broadcasting from. Our major radio partner within the Greater Accra metropolis is Ahunto 92.3 FM. We are live on Volta 1 TV in the Volta region. We are also live on Global FM. We are live on Bewa 106.5 FM in Yendi. We are also live on Diamond FM. We are live on Matambo Radio. We are live on Shine FM in Akachi, among several other radio affiliates, including Yenawasi in Ketekrachi. We are live on Facebook, Pan-African Television, spelled out in full. Pan-African Television, spelled out in full. If you're watching us through that platform, please do share your thoughts with us. Use the comment section, your thoughts, and I'll read it out at some point in the show. But if you like listening to Tuning Radio, any of the radio streaming apps, you can get us. Radio Go 90.5 FM, or you can get us on Ahunto 92.3 FM on any of the radio streaming apps. Tuning Tuning Radio, Garden Radio, among the other radio streaming apps that you can get access to. My name is Sena Nombo. And joining me in the studio this morning, Mr. Kwesi Prajina is managing editor of the Insight newspaper. He's attracted some attention that he hasn't attracted in a while, because this week his office was burgled into. He was just telling me that the destruction that was caused was close to 10,000 Ghana cedis. And we also joined in the studio by Mujib Rahman from the New Patriotic Party's communication team. He has decided to spend his time with us this morning instead of going for the manifesto launch. We are very grateful to him for making that sacrifice. And then Margaret Anse, who is a deputy spokesperson of the National Democratic Congress's campaign team, joins us this morning. We are waiting for Kojo Chumbo, our very good friend, who will be joining us pretty shortly. We'll be back with a discussion after this short break. Stick and stay with us.
Morning is an important time of the day because how you spend your morning can often tell you what kind of day you're going to have. I want you to have a great day. So start your day with me because I can guarantee a great show every weekday on Good Morning Africa right here on Pan-African Television. I will be serving some inspiration, news, business, health, newspaper review, music, and so much more. Join me, Kwame Owusu Danso on Good Morning Africa on Pan-African Television. Let's have a truly African morning. Medasi.
Hello, what are you doing Tuesday to Friday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock p.m. every day? You should be watching The Couch. I'll tell you why. On Tuesdays, we talk social issues, lifestyle, health, all those everyday issues that affect us in the big ways. Late Wednesdays are for book reviews. Thursdays are for the hard talk, those socio-economic, policy-oriented, political questions that demand for the tough questions to be asked. Our personality profiling Fridays, when we get to know the stories behind the winning personalities we love. Inspirational story from inspirational personalities. Hey, listen, you really cannot miss The Couch with me, Amma, but still the only TV show with a heart.
He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people.
Well, welcome back from that break. My name is Sena Nombo. It's once again my pleasure to welcome you to Alhaji and Alhaji, the mother of all talk shows. Thank you for making time. Here we say it as a state, no matter who is involved, in the end, we'll leave you better educated. The platform is Pan-African Television. It's the same on Facebook. It's the same on YouTube. You can use any of those avenues to listen to us. When you're listening to us, you can share your comments with us. Very important. Do share your comments with us. I'll read them as we go along. A big thank you for making time. Well, we are starting today's discussion with the infrastructure debate that was instigated by the Vice President's presentation on the investment this government has made on infrastructure. There has been questions about what have the loans gone into, the monies you have borrowed, the monies from the 3 oil fields, what have you used it for? Well, the Vice President has been accounting to some extent, and we have been hearing a lot. He has instigated a whole debate. And one of the people's, the party that is most interested in this particular debate is the National Democratic Congress, because they have always said that they use the 4-year.
My eldest, I used to see Mr. Kwesi Pratt on TV. It's a privilege that today I am seated here with him. It's a very big privilege. A very good morning to Ghanaians, the NDC fraternity, and the MPP. We are wishing them well in their manifesto lunch. We hope this time it will be policy-based manifesto, not slogans, even though they might come back to power maybe in the next 30, 15 years, because they are going. And I also send my warm greetings to the CPP. I think they are also having their Congress today.
Congress.
So now the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, he had a town hall meeting, and for the past few months, I used to call him the town hall prefect, and I realized my colleagues on the other side were not really happy with it. And I was thinking he was going to be promoted from the town hall prefect to another level, but it seems he's very comfortable with the town hall prefect. So now the arguments over the week, I think the NDC, through our communication officer and our former appointees, they've said a lot about the issue ongoing. But the most important thing is, there is a saying that to whom much is given, much is really expected. How much has the NPP government, the Nanado government, received? As soon as you are voted into office, all our resources is with you. We the citizens, as your first clients, we expect that you manage them well. Give us physical evidence. Give us security, comfort, integrity, because the image of the country internationally and locally is very, very important to its citizens. It's all part of branding. So the Nanado-led government, since 2017 to date, 3.5 years now, we are going into an election in the next few months. How much is given to him and how much is he accounting for? The John Mahama's government, we knew how much came to us from our oil revenues and taxes. We had around 90 billion. The loan that we secured outside, around 40 billion. In all, everything, oil, taxes, everything, we had around 130 billion Ghana cedis. The Nanado government alone, loans, is around 130 billion loans. That these are the ones that they've accounted for. There are other ones that they know how to hide them, which the minority have been speaking to it always. Oil and taxes, the monies that they have received, all put together, the Nanado government has 320 billion Ghana cedis. As against we, the ex-Wa Muhammad government, 130 billion Ghana cedis. We have a lot to show. We have a lot to talk about. We have done a lot. That is why John Mahama is calling Nanado. That both of us, we've been fortunate. God gave us 4 years. Everybody, we are all alive. And we are going into these elections on record. You had 4 years, I had 4 years. Come and let's debate on issues. Let me tell you what I did. And also tell me what you did. Don't hide behind somebody to come in. And you know, what is so embarrassing is that immediately after his town hall lectures, we've had several people coming out, stolen projects. Some projects do not exist at all. Some factories, they only have pillars. People are going out to fast check. And it's so embarrassing. I heard that Dr. Bawumia's PA saying some of the things that maybe they did not report to them that well, and there were mistakes somewhere. So now, the development agents from the base are the municipal chief executives. I have been a municipal chief executive before, at least for 10 months. So I still have some of my memories. We get common fund. We get DDF. Now they call it progressive, responsive progressive grants. Previously it was DDF. It's given by donors. And the donors will give you the money based on your performance assessments. So when they come to assess you and you do well, you pass the minimum level, there is an amount of money they give you. We were having common fund, IGF, DDF. Now, this current government, they have common fund. They have this grants from donors. They have IGF. And they have IPAC. That is the 1 million per constituency fund. $1 million per constituency. It's even enough without common fund and DDF. 1 million alone should give us earth-shattering projects. Wow projects. Projects that you don't need to struggle to see. And here we are. So if you ask the MMDCs to get you projects, and because the common fund is not regular, the 1 million per district or constituency is not coming directly to the assembly. It's being controlled somewhere. You will be in the assembly and the planning officer will see something going on. Then he will have to go and ask them. They will tell him, oh, we are building this toilet from the office of the president under the 1 million per constituency project. Toilets for just $1 million. If Nanado had promised Ghanaians during his campaign that he was going to build toilets, you think Ghanaians would have voted for him? You said every district assembly will receive a $1 million every year. So by now, each assembly should be accounting for a $4 million. And you have only toilets to show under $1 million per constituency project. And you call this chief executive because the common fund is not forthcoming. And the major thing is Nanado's appointees, most of them are incompetent. When you go to the district, they are failing the flat assessments. They are failing, so the donors are not bringing the money for development. You have to pass before you get the grant. Most of them are incompetent and so arrogant that the public servants have also relaxed in watching them. They don't know anything about governance. They are not prepared to learn, throwing their ways about. Go to the assemblies. Some spent over 2 years just to transfer people. When Ghanaians have voted for you to come and sit and work, some are just doing transfer. This person worked with the previous government, I can't work with. Go, 2 years just changing people from the assembly. Did we vote for the NPP government to come and control this nation as if they are managing their personal business? This is a nation, over 30 million Ghanaians. What we are doing today is going to affect even the generation yet unborn. Yet we've left this country in the hands of a bunch of incompetent people. And they are underperforming from the central government to the last person. So this person is incompetent. He doesn't know what to do. Then you ask him to bring projects. Then he or she brings you projects, including speed runs. Sena, speed runs. Even unit committee members will not boast of speed runs. When John Mohammed's government, we were in power, I was a municipal chief executive. Even unengineered roads, we will not even count them as achievement. Boreholes, we were not counting them. We were not even counting boreholes as achievement. We left it for the unit committee members, for the assembly members. A chief executive, you are counting your achievements, carrying it from your base to central government, and you are naming speed runs. I have a popular route that I use. Recently, there is a new building there. The owner of the house, he has cemented the road and done proper speed run. One person, that a lot of us have been using that road. Then a government with over 320 billion Ghana cedi as revenue, then you call speed run as an achievement. Speed run. Look at the stolen project. Rotary will go to a constituency or a district. You cannot just go and start doing projects. It's like on my birthday, then I choose to go to Osu Children's Home. I cannot just go and present to them the item that I want to give them. At least you have to use the protocol. See those who are in charge. So if an association or a department want to help humanity, comes to the chief executive, come to seek for your blessings and go and do the project, then the chief executive will count such project as Nanado's government project. Who does that? Look at the shame. Everybody, social media, people are calling out projects that were done with NGOs fund and other things, and Bawumia claimed those projects. So as a vice president, they will give you goods to go and give to victims. You will not even read the expiring date. You shed expired goods. Vice president of a nation. Will even an ex-house president of a penny secondary school do this? You won't read, then you just go and share. Then later, look at the backlash. It's not an embarrassment only for the government. It is for the nation because he's the vice president. They have carried projects to you. You didn't do due diligence. You don't have a team to go and double check. Then you come and account stolen projects to us. That out of the 320 billion you've received, the taxes, the oil, then you can account speed ramps and stolen projects to Ghanaians. Sena, it is so shame. So shame. Very. You don't employ competent people. You give municipal chief executive positions to party faithfuls, irrespective of their background. I don't know what orientation they gave them. They are not learning. They are not growing into the position they gave them. And look at the embarrassment. How can a municipality or a district count speed ramp as a project? Toilet, one single toilet, under 1 million per constituency project. This country should move beyond where it is now. We should talk of major achievements. If the Nanado government had built a new Nanado Akosomo Dam, Ghanaians shouldn't be surprised. Because since creation, since Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, since independence, the loans that individual governments have received is around 120 billion. Nana alone, his borrowing loans alone is around 130, more than what over 59 years. Now Ghana is around 62. Over 59 years, the loans that we've acquired, 120, and one person, one government within 3.5 years has 130 billion loan. Oil and taxes are not part. Then you want to account to us. You couldn't build an Akosomo Dam. You couldn't build a University of Ghana Medical Center. You couldn't build the Eastern University. You couldn't build the Cycle Interchange. The cash. You didn't do any of this. Then you have come to us with rudimentary projects, very basic projects that is qualified of an assemblyman or a unit contingent. Then you want us to clap for you. Where are we going as a nation? If this man, we don't kick him out by December 7th and allow him to just get 45 minutes of our time, I think we will flee this country and give it to him and his family. Nana and his team, they have failed abysmally. They are incompetent from top to bottom. They don't know anything about governance. I was expecting Nanado, his longevity in politics, I expected a more matured, a more performing government. He has really disappointed the youth of this nation. And we are telling Ghanaians, a president, instead of developing a nation, you are investing in refreshment. A document that was sent to Parliament between January to September, Nana and his vice president, individually, respectively, spent 1.9 million Ghana cedis on refreshment. Then you go and build a toilet and count it as a project to Ghana. A president was so much busy in globetrotting, traveling all over the world. As a result, even coming back to Ghana with COVID-19, globetrotting all over, spending over 63 million Ghana cedis on traveling between 9 months, within 9 months. Who does this? Then when it's time for you to account to Ghanaians, you are showing us single toilets, boreholes that there is no even things that unit committee members are supposed to do. That is what the central government is showing to us. Nanado should come again. You are investing the loans on consumption. John Mahama had presidential staffers, 27 presidential staffers. Nana has 311 presidential staffers. You are paying this presidential staffers. Their salary is equivalent to a deputy minister. You have 124 ministers. This is what Nana is using the money for. Consumption. Freebies. We are building a nation not for ourselves. We are building it for the generation yet unborn. This government, honestly, I can't even advise them now because they have few days to go. But I expect Ghanaians to demand proper accountability, because it's a shame. It's a shame to spend 6.3 billion on globetrotting. What does the president eat at the presidency? 1.9 million on refreshments. But about me, what does he drink? Then you go and show us projects. When you go to my constituency, you can't believe it. The speed ramp that they are even building, they've done one part and they've left one part for over 2 years. Go and see the mess. Go and see the mess. Then you see their chief executive, raising their shoulders. You won't learn. You won't humble yourself to learn. Fighting, public servants, when they are teaching them, they are fighting them because they feel that they are untouchable. Because some of them came from the moon and they came to place them there. We knew them in the district. We knew who they were. And we expect that they behave as servants. Sena, Ghanaians must demand accountability from the MPP government.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Margaret Ann says, Deputy Campaign Spokesperson for the National Democratic Congress, kicking off that debate on the infrastructure debate, instigated by the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, has taken a lot of attention in the media space over the week. Let me just read a couple of the messages you're sending to us through Pan-African Television on Facebook. Wudeduja says, good morning, and says, Sena, the shout for a debate is not coming from only the NDC. It also includes those who are not religiously affiliated with political parties, and it must happen for we the populace to make a decision. Positive Change in Medina says Akufo-Addo and his appointees claim on daily basis that they have done more infrastructure projects than any government in Ghana's history. Yet they are unable to pinpoint just a single completed project that they initiated. John Mahama's projects are everywhere for everyone to see and to touch. Indeed, John Mahama was never a lazy president, but was a nation builder. Thank you for that message. With the DJ again says, with the social distancing not being observed wherever the party leaders go, I think debates in the regional capitals by the party leaders will send a two-way message to all and for all to decide. Dennis Yakwete says, a day after the launch of the said delivery tracker, I went to the website under educational infrastructure in Yulo Krobo, under both completed and ongoing. I didn't see anything on health. I saw total as one, ongoing as one, and yet there was no pictorial evidence to verify the current status of the project, even though I am aware of the said project, the funding of which was secured by JM's administration, but delayed because of land issue. Indeed, beyond the poorly implemented free SHS, which was even made possible at this poorly implemented level only because of the infrastructure investment made in the educational sector by JM, the NPP would have been a disaster. Our VIP is indeed a mediocre character, and that is corrupting our youth and must be checked. Shalom. Thank you for that message. Sumaila Issa says Ghanaians expect more from their manifesto. Scams everywhere, from PDS, boss, excavators, tricycles, and to wire scandals, just to mention a few. Nanado's government is full of corruption and nepotism. We can wait for December 7. We can't wait for December 7, actually wanted to say, inshallah. And she sent that from Salaga North constituency. Abigail Tego says, it's a shame that projects government had nothing to do with have appeared in the MPP infrastructure list. They must give a breakdown of monies pumped into each project to improve transparency. Abdul Salam Kasaogo says, Sena, if an old man has no food for the child, but he has wisdom for him, greet Uncle Kwesi Pratt for me and tell him we learn a lot from him. So now our elders say that there's no need to announce a funeral of a man who died in an open marketplace. Dr. Baumia was the same person who told us that he has arrested the dollar. By the end of it, it was a blatant lie. Dr. Matthew Opoku on 7th of March 2017 said JDM has completed only 46 e-blocks, but Dr. Baumia said 26. Now, who is being truthful here? If today JM's interchanges at Pokwasi, Tema, and Obechibilamte Circle are passed off as Akufo-Addo's flagship road projects, why should it amaze anyone? Because someone you know during a daytime, you do not use a torchlight to identify that same person at night. If you check the website, the launch, we are told UGMC Hospital is in Tamale. If not, Baumia, whom are we to blame? May Allah show the super incompetent government the exit door. Finally, Sok Mauludu says good morning. So tell Mr. Kwesi Pratt that Ghanaians don't like the one who always speaks the truth. That's why Ahmed Swale was killed. But God is with you. So forgive those who did that. And Mohammed Masaudu said JDM is even not 4 years, but rather 3. And half because of a court case. God bless the nation builder JDM and save us from the nation destroyer Nana Akufo-Addo. Mujib.
Design.
Oh, by the grace,
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
fine. I hope you're fine.
Okay, yeah. I want to say and make a correction. Yesterday I was at Cape Coast, but
Okay.
because your program is very important.
You decided to
And
come.
some of us, today is Saturday, there are a lot of programs going on. Decided we have to come, make sure we represent the party, and also share our views and ideas out there. So it is very, very important. Sena, on the infrastructure debate, based on what the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, has thrown out there, it's not a debate. But even if it's a debate, we don't have a problem. But now I think that if you recall in 2016, the electioneering campaign, candidate Nanado toured around the country soliciting the support of the people of Ghana to give him their mandate to steer the affairs of this country. In doing so, he went to the people with his ideas and what, if the people give him the opportunity, what he would do for the people of Ghana in terms of developing the country. And being in power for 3.5 years, it's prudent to account to the people of Ghana who gave you the mandate, their mandate. And exactly what the Vice President did on behalf of his boss, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. But other the doomsayers or whatever, they will continue to say what they want to say. But I think that government is doing what government is supposed to do, and government need to communicate its achievement to the people. Because when I enter a contract with you and I promise you, give me this and I'll do this for you, after some time you need me to come and tell you this is what I have done, exactly what has happened. Sena, but I am not surprised. Sometimes back, just around 2017, 2018, 2019, the accusation on the Nanado-led government was that infrastructure delivery in this country was abysmal and poor. And that was the stand by the largest opposition party in this country, the NDC. We kept quiet, developing the country, pursuing on our infrastructure development, knowing very well that the time will come and we'll put it out there. It is not for anything, but it is the responsibility of government to communicate to the people. And so now, when the Vice President finished demonstration and his speech to the people of this country, up to now, our brothers and sisters in the NDC, they can't sleep again now. They are running across all media houses and trying to downplay the achievement. I'm coming into the details. If you listen to what the Vice President said in his chronology of events, he categorized it into two and said micro and macro. I am very surprised this morning that my sister, having been in an MC or DCE before, is underplaying the provision of toilet facility to a community I am surprised. She said, growing up listening to people like Mr. Kosi Pratt and the rest, we all did. And their line of argument has been how we have left our people in poverty in the area of development, especially in the rural areas. And Sena, you know the consequences of open defecation. You know, you don't need anybody to tell you. And it's not for anybody's fault that growing up right after independence, we decided to let other part of the country wallowing in that poverty line, and to the extent that even their households, they don't even have toilet facilities in the house. And it is the responsibility of central government to make sure that when part of your body is sick, you need to cure it. So the provision of toilet facility is very, very crucial. Maybe to not her, not him, not me, but those in the hinterland is very, very important. So now you are talking of, she made mention of speed ramps. My dear, I think people, there are engineers at the assembly you were superintending over. And when the engineers advise, they are technocrat. You need to listen to them. They just don't provide speed ramps just like that. They are critical interventions to cure a particular issue. So it's part of the micro. So it is very, I also want to indicate that don't downplay the provision of speed ramps. It is very, very important. You will not see them, they are minute, but the purpose they serve is very, very important. So now, that is at that level. So why would people want today, if you go and provide potable water to a community, it's bad. Today, if you extend electricity to a community, it's bad. Today, if you go and provide a classroom block to a school, a needy school, it's bad. Which should not be captured as an infrastructure development or an achievement. Why? Not long ago, the Green Book is still there. The classroom blocks are in the Green Book. The toilet facilities are in the Green Book. So it was good and excellent yesterday, but today it is bad. That is what my brothers and sisters are telling the people of Ghana. And I don't think they are taking it. He started chastising the Akufo-Addo-led government by so far monies that have been accrued to government and what government has used the money. And she related to the area of infrastructure development, linking it to what edifice like the University of Ghana Medical Facility, the Sekle Interchange, Kaswa Interchange, etc., etc. That is excellent. President Mahama, former President Mahama, has done well. But don't also forget that the same government you are accusing, some of the loans and the monies that accrued is what you are seeing going on in Tamale Interchange, the Pokwasu Interchange, Obichebilamte Interchange, the Tema Interchange. That is what is also going on. But let me quickly draw her attention that it is not only an area of infrastructure. When government borrowed, you do so many things with the borrowing. And the question I want to ask this morning is that, Madam, a lot of projects were contracted. Some were ongoing, some were yet to start before you lost power, NDC left office. Did you care? Spare a moment to ask yourself, the district clinic I've awarded in my community, even though I left office, but that community clinic has been completed. Meanwhile, you didn't pay the money. So now you ask yourself, how did it get completed? Who paid the contractor? So a lot of projects that government rolled out in 2016 and left office were continued by the Nanado administration, and most of the contractors have been paid. So now, but when you take the chart, you take the list of what the vice president has put out there, it's very there's a column we call inherited projects. That is projects that we have inherited from the NDC administration. Those that we have completed, those that are still ongoing. After all, we are not serving the NDC. We are serving the people of Ghana. Whether it's borrowed money, whether it's taxes money that rake in, it is the money of the people of Ghana, which any government must use to build and develop the people. And exactly what the government is doing. But let me refresh our mind this morning. We took loans. You said the loans were smaller as compared to what we took. It is very important. But do you also care to ask yourself, after I left government, how are the loans I took? How are they serviced? How are we paying the principal and the interest? Because governance, we inherited liabilities and assets. So how are we going to do that to pay the debt? It is not on NDC government, NDC party or MPP party. The debt is on the neck of the people of Ghana. So any government that comes, it's your responsibility to service the debt. And I can assure my brother and my sister this morning that it is because of the prudent management of the loans portfolio in this country and the financial sector. That is why we are now in a very good footing to even access more loans to develop the people of Ghana. Because today, let me reduce it ordinary. When you are not in the best of shape and you go to the bank and the bank did their assessment of you, they won't give you the loan because repayment of the loan is optimal interest to the bank. So if they know you are not in that position to service the loan, they won't give you. So it is even a plus to even put your economy in that situation, like what we are experiencing, that you can attract more loans. Why? Nobody borrowed to do chanchanga, like we experienced some time ago. But madam, traveling as a president is crucial. I thought that we have moved away as a people from that kind of politics. Because I recall during the tenure of President Kufuor, people used to record anytime he's traveling outside the country. But you measure that against the success of the travel of the president. Was President Mama a chair president? Wasn't he traveling? Today, are you not touting the achievement of President Mama? Some of the loans, did he sit in Ghana and get the loans the deal strike out? If president don't travel, why is America president traveling? Why is China president traveling? Why is South Africa president traveling? Why is Nigeria president traveling? It is significant to travel, even individual. Sometimes you have to travel to get certain things done. On the part of refreshment, you've been an MC, DCE before, madam. So when visitors are coming, what do? Your protocol officer in the district assembly, you just receive your chiefs and people and just let them walk hungry. You even give them breakfast or lunch. When that is done, is it not the cost of the assembly? Whether you are using your locally generated fund and all those whatever to pay it, but it is the cost of the assembly. It's not coming from your salary. But those provisions are made to the seat of government. Whether it is under Nanado or it is former President Kufuor or J.J. Rawlings, that is the procedure. Some amount of budget is allocated for refreshment because the president, that is the seat of government, office of number one, visitors will come, people will come, very important dignitaries, VVIPs will come. And those are protocols that we have lived with for some time now. Why do we want to belittle it? So when we present traveled to Nigeria with my brother who was a free zone board, we extended all the KTCs. So when they are coming, wouldn't we replicate that? He said 27 staffers. That is untrue. Because all the offices in the president, there are other auxiliary staff and there. You capture all of them. That is why you send to parliament. The office of the vice president, the office of the chief of staff, all. But that is all captured under the offices of the presidency. So the debate is on. Nobody need to call for a debate. The debate of infrastructure, others are talking of other sectors. It is on. And Sena, we have to borrow. Today, we are not talking of doomso because the system is structured and we have been able to put measures in place. Today we have money, we can give out money, and today 24 hours we have lies. And the power producers are being paid. And today we are not talking of doomso. So Sena, it is critical how to manage even in spite of the pandemic, so that the president is able to hold this country together and support to businesses, and we are still united as a people. So now it is very, very significant. It is very, very significant. So for me, for the infrastructure development, you can't hold them, because they have been defeated in that angle. That is why, and there's a saying in my local language that when you kill a snake, definitely it will struggle. So that is the struggle mood the National Democratic Congress is. For they know one-on-one, they are not going to get it. But the people out there, they are assessing the performance. So now we are accusing of infrastructure. We have taken it to you, so the infrastructure is there. So why complaining? Some artistical impressions were captured in the Green Book. When we mention those people, those things, you were arguing, but you did accept the fact that some of them were not captured. So it is true sometimes some of these things, when they happen, you can get 1 or 2 areas that have been captured, which when you take on will not be exactly what it is. But that is how it is. And so now, but 95% of what the vice president has put there is on ground, and we have achieved some. So it even went further, the 17,334 infrastructure. How much we have completed, how much is ongoing. So that is where we are. But it is the responsibility of government. But now I am very happy by the close of today. I think when the manifesto is final launch, that is very, very expanded. One, the area, how it's going, the future of Ghana after pandemic, and how our government is going to manage the economy of this country, make it more robust, make sure businesses are flourishing and others are coming, like what we did in the area of 1 district, 1 factory, 1 village, 1 dam. I heard a lot of senior people in this country lamented social, rural urban migration in this country. So I think in my village, if I'm able to get a functional factory, it will reduce the migration of my brothers into the other areas of the country looking for jobs. It is very, very important. So let's, in that angle, I urge all to support government to let us succeed. Industrialization, those who were referring us to how Singapore, Korea, Malaysia today, it is because of some of these programs that they have put in place and sustain them for a longer period of time. That is why today they are enjoying the benefit. And so now my worry always is that we can't get to where we want with this sometimes tension and divided politics that we do in this country. So if your opponent is doing something that is good, we need the support of all the people of Ghana to support that to succeed, because it is the Ghanaian project, the Ghanaian will benefit. But because you want to scope or you quickly want to come back to power, you try to change it and make it more black into the eyes of the people. And I think that will not help us. It will not help us. But significance, we have to concede that infrastructure development all along has been a challenge. But so far, the Nanado-led government has done extremely well in terms of interventions in this area. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mujib. Let me just do a couple of the messages before I come to Mr. Chumboafo. Usifisa says, in fact, as for Nanado government, the least said about them, the better. They are so incompetent to the extent that they are naming toilets, 6-unit classroom, boreholes, among others. How on earth should they do that? Hashtag kick out this clueless government. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that message. Could you feel like, surprisingly, the speed ramps are in my constituency. Congratulations to you. Let me get some of the messages and read them. Kwesi Opoko Edu says Baumia will always be embarrassed because he has allowed himself to be used for gutter works. Delali Dixon says the platform that provides people with critical analysis of the real issues for layman's understanding. Good morning. Good morning to you too. Kofi Nyade says says I hate liars listening to lies defending lies. The MPP man is always comfortable defending lies in his party, so I'm off. Alasa Muntalabi says, to whom much is given, much is expected. Nana should have done more than this. Kasanga Bon Gas, okay. Issa says, so it's a single community. Did MPP connect light in the Upper West region? A single one. Francis Cobnando says, I am very sad. Even $1 million cannot complete just a toilet in Ghana. Salam says still Mahama Afa is live, and the MPP and his family and friends have nothing to show. ACN Ebenezer says, I have come to the conclusion that the MPP has a disease that is inherent and is genetic. That is their inability to appreciate what is good governance. Hussein Yakubu Citizen says, but Bawumia, when in opposition, told us that when they come to power, they will not borrow because he knows where the money is. Anthony Sena Nombo says, please, this manifesto is full of toilet promises and money for the pocket. Attila Sena says, tell the MPP man to stop defending VIP, defending the VIP. Thank you. Achudela is saying, if I listen to so-called MPP communicators sit on radio, okay. Thank you. Thank you for those messages that you're sending to us. Commissioner General says, oh, Mujib, Mago is saying that speed ramp and KVIPs are the achievement of assemblymen and women, but not for a vice president to be proud of. Nana Akufo-Addo,
so it's captured there at the district assembly level.
Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia-led government has expired. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Chumbuafo.
Well, Mujib, if you allow me,
I know my name is Sister
so allow me. Your shirt is very nice. I'm surprised you haven't written your name all over it. Tom Folari. Good morning to all the august listeners and watchers of Alhaji And Alhaji. As the weeks and months pass, this program becomes a more important platform, and like my brother Mujib said, he had to be shipped from Cape Coast to come here this morning because he didn't want the bloodletting to happen, uninhibited. But anyway, before I make my presentation, I'm going to read something, and I think it's important that we put this infrastructure debate that Vice President Bawumia started in its proper context. On Thursday, a certain gentleman called Kofi Owusu-Debra at exactly 11:02 p.m. posted this on Facebook. Folks, this fully funded, completed Rotary School project, for which I led the project management team to implement. It has been commissioned and in use by the pupils since September 2019. It's one and not two projects. Search Sornoase Kwaidendem School Project and see the results. Rotary is a non-political service organization, and we deserve to be respected as that. Whoever misled the government is dishonest and shameless. The reason why I am highlighting this project is that on their so-called delivery tracker, which Vice President Bawumia came to talk about and listing as some of their projects, this particular project was on it, and the identity tag on that project is 82-3109-4777 in the Tyne district of the Bono region, and they indicated as this: ongoing construction of second 6-unit classroom blocks with auxiliaries, borehole, and 10-seated micro-flush toilet at Sornoase Kwaidendem in Tyne district. So basically, if you are asking me what they did, they stole a project that Rotary had done for free and said it was a government project. There was another person who said there were 10 boreholes in the Osudoku district founded by Rotary, Underwater is Life projects, and were all captured as government projects. Let me show my friend Mujib something, and I am going to give it to him after. If the camera will focus on this, this is one of the projects. This is one of the projects that the MPP said
it's a project we should be proud of. And I am glad that Mujib was talking about it. This is one of the projects you captured. This is your idea. This is your idea of a toilet. This is your idea. This is on their website. This is their idea of a toilet. As you can all see, it's an open air. This is the idea of a project. They call this a project. It's a toilet that Mujib is proud of. This. You see, let's get serious in this country. It is on. You see, it is on your website, Mujib. It's on your website, and it is shocking. It is utterly shocking that a government that has borrowed 150 billion cedis and counting says this is a project that you have done. And you are here telling us that we should be happy that you take Sebi Mpempro Pata. I don't know whether it is a used kitchen sink that you sunk in the ground or whatever. And you say this is something that we should thank you for. Ghanaians, over the last 3.5 to 4 years, you have seen what bad, itinerantly bad governance is all about. They promised you one district, one factory. Then they take existing factories, people's private property, and then they tell you, we did it. When you confront them, they say, oh, when we came, it was like this, but the people have improved it. So it is our project. I was, Mujib, when you're talking, I was the chief executive of Free Zones. I have seen Free Zones projects that existed in my time that are being called one district. It's good. Cover it. I'll show it to them again. Oh, no. You see, I have seen projects, Free Zone projects that existed during that time that are now being listed as one district, one factory. I have seen private property. The latest belonged to LMI in Dawa. Existed during that time because LMI is a Free Zone company. They said it's a one district, one factory. We have heard of $1 million per constituency. When you were promising the people of this country heaven on earth, you did not tell them that you were going to use the money to build toilets. You told them that every single year $1 million will be available. So as we speak, you owe every constituency in this country $4 million. And you are telling us that you have used it to build toilets. The Minister for Special Initiatives, the Gang-toting Minister, Otutu Minister, no? She told us, Rambo, she told us, actually I call her Rambolina, isn't that a better name? She told us that some of the money is being used to dig those non-existent mosquito-infested pits that you call, what do they call it? Dugouts. Or whatever out it is. $1 million, one constituency meant exactly that. In fact, in 2017, Dr. Baumia told us that we should go and collect the money because the money was available, and if you don't collect it, it will be stolen. And now they are telling us that they are using it to build toilets. So I ask the people of this country again, whatever constituency this thing was in, is this a $4 million worth toilet?
You have to ask questions.
Is this a $4 million toilet?
Where from this? Because tomorrow I can bring a picture.
It is on your website. It is on your, including the Rotary project, including people's private projects. It is on your website. Is this a $4 million project? Mumisa. This is a toilet that when you are sitting on, Mujib, please don't try to disrupt me. You can't disrupt me. You can't disrupt me. I have mentioned other projects. The Rotary ones you stole. In fact, the Rotary ones they stole now is off the site. Now it's off the site, but unfortunately we captured it before you could take it off. You see, you people are dishonest, eh? And unfortunately for Dr. Bawumia, my elder brother Kwesi Pratt said it the other day, and it was an observation I made. Anytime you have something that is inane and embarrassing, you sell Dr. Bawumia to go and do it. Why? You talked about Pokwasi interchange, Tema interchange. What's that one? Obechebi Lamte interchange. You people have no idea where the money for that project came from. You have absolutely no idea. When you came, the money was there. And Dr. Bawumia dishonestly goes to sit on national TV and tells people that the circle interchange costs 269 million or whatever it is. And the three interchanges combined, Pokwasi, Tema, and Obechebi Lamte, cost another 200 and something. Therefore, they have saved money. First of all, there's no basis for comparison because you don't know where the money came from. The projects are just being constructed during your tenure. Second of all, the projects are not. Oh, Mujib, come on. No, I don't want to answer any question. When you finish,
so we are in power and we don't know where the money is coming from.
When you finish,
the documents
it was John Mahama who procured that. It is time
stamp. You can respond. You know how the program works, so please help the program.
Because you people are dishonest. You understand? You are dishonest. Who in this country, those of you who remember the political lexicons of our time, who coined the phrase, if you road we go chop? Who coined the phrase? Can you answer? If you want to answer. Who coined the phrase, if you road we go chop? So today, with the chop road, why is Bawumia now sitting on national TV and lying about roads that he can't chop? Why is he lying? I am putting it to you. I said the Pokwasi interchange, Tema interchange, and the Obechebi Lamte interchange. Those monies were acquired by President Mahama. Period. And the basis for comparison of a project, Sena, if I construct 1,000 chicken coops and I build a palace, are both of them not infrastructure? Why are you comparing a flyover and an underpass to a total transportation project? The so-called circle interchange that Bawumia referred to consisted of dredging the Odo River, 3 bridges over the Odo River, transportation terminals. There was even a rail component. It is a 3-tier road system. How do you compare that to a simple underpass and overpass? And I'm a civil engineer. I graduated 27 years ago. At least people know my classmates. So don't quibble with me on that one. I also didn't go to school with my father's certificate. And I didn't graduate on Sunday. So don't quibble with me on that one. You see, you people are liars. Eh? You lied to come to power. You told tales, you made promises you know you couldn't keep. And today, now that it has caught up with you, today suddenly we are having an infrastructure debate. Why don't you keep up with the free SHS argument? Wasn't that your campaign blank? For the last 4 years, all we have heard is free SHS. Utiya we have free SHS. Onaya we have free SHS. Baby we have free SHS. And we told you, President Mahama, when he was voted out of power, said that posterity will judge him. And today, President Mahama's projects, including UGMS, which you refused to use. When the health minister was asked why the UGMS was not in use, he said there was no generator there. Today, but for the ingenuity and the foresight of President Mahama, all your ministers will be dead. From one district, one factory, we will have one cemetery, one minister. But for President Mahama, when you people are lying after you go and collect the coronavirus like gem biscuit at Christmas time, when you are lying at UGMS, thank President Mahama. Because Ankawudo me one minister, Osu one minister, Ekopon Presby cemetery one minister, Mampon Basil cemetery one minister. And your ministers would have been like confetti all over the cemeteries in Ghana because of the ingenuity and the foresight of it. So when it comes to an infrastructure debate, you people are fighting with Mike Tyson. I am telling you, you are fighting with Mike Tyson. When it comes to infrastructure, President Mahama is the Mike Tyson of infrastructure in Ghana. You have borrowed 150 billion Ghana cedis. And what do you use it for? 17,000 an hour private jets. When this country has a presidential jet, you rent a jet for $17,000 an hour and fly to go and watch Champions League match. Part of it. You have almost 1,000. You have almost 1,000 presidential staffers that we are paying. 1,000 presidential staffers that you are paying with our money, and they do nothing. You have 1,000 presidential staffers, and you couldn't identify projects that government has done. Go to all the districts, and I'm sure the people who are watching know what I'm saying. You go to the districts, and every MCE is riding in a new SUV. Every MC is riding in a new SUV, and the only thing they can identify in their communities are Rambo strips. I mean, how pathetic! How pathetic! They say go and stand there and talk about projects you have done. Then you take this and you say you have done a project. What is this? You are sitting on this thing, and before you realize a snake would have bitten your bottom. And you call this a project. You have expended millions, billions of our taxes. And you call these projects that you have done. And want to compare yourself. Were you not the same people who rubbished the Green Book and said it was an exercise in mediocrity? The president of this country said that the projects in the Green Book are phantom projects. But then you sit here. Dr. Baumia came and said they are completing projects that NDC have done. How do you complete a phantom project? Have you ever seen a ghost before? How do you complete a phantom project? And yet you are complaining. You see, your time has come. You know your time has come. Thankfully, this nightmare will be over in 3 months. In 106 days, you will be gone. Gone. And I'm glad the president said he will hand over peacefully, because nothing less than a peaceful handover will be acceptable. The way he was handed over the government peacefully so that he could pillage this country with his bunch of brigands and buccaneers and highway robbers and pirates. Dr. Baumia says that during our time, we were inflating the cost of road projects. You know something very interesting? There's a gentleman called Abbas Awolu. He is the head of Department of Urban Roads. All those projects are under Department of Urban Roads. He was the head of Urban Roads during President Mahama's time. He is still the head of Urban Roads today. The reason why he's still there, we will have that debate another time. Because he is the only chief executive who has been kept by the Akufo-Addo, the only one. So if He presided over inflation of contracts. Why haven't you investigated him? Why have you maintained him? Is he still not inflating contracts? Because as far as we know, the Obechebi Lamte circle job has gone up by almost 45 million euros. How did that happen? They will say it's redesigned. Fine, I'll give them that. But if the gentleman who was there today is not presiding over inflated contracts today, how was he presiding over inflated contracts when President Mahama was there? You see, these people want to give you the impression that when you go for a project loan, you can just go there, tell them that you are doing ABC, tell them that it is $10 million, then they'll give you a bag, put money inside, then you come and sit at home and share it with your wife. We all know that's not true. They will look at the feasibility of the project. They will send people to come and see your quantities. They will send people to come and see your project site before they even make a decision as to whether to grant you the loan or not. And more often than not, the request that you made is not granted. Everybody knows. And yet they will tell us we don't read. Baumia says we don't read. If you read, will you go and take a rotary project and come and highlight it as a government project? Do you read? And yet you accuse people of not reading. Mr. Abbas Awolu is still there today. So I am challenging Pan-African TV, challenging the people who were saying, joining the bandwagon to say President Mahama was inflating projects, to go and interview him and ask him what was being inflated then and what is being inflated now. It is something I would like to know. You see, once again, the MPP told a bunch of lies to come to power. Right? Today, the lies have caught up with them. Today, the lies have caught up with them. Everybody knows that one district doesn't have at least one factory. Everybody knows that the $1 million per constituency didn't come. They said, they admitted, one of the things that they were insulting President Mahama with is that President Mahama said he was going to build 200 schools and he built only 47. That's what he said. Then when they came into government, they admitted that 47 had been built. Indeed, the Minister of Education went and said it, that 47 had out of 2. At the time, he was sneering at President Mahama. Today, they say no, only 26 was built. You know what they are saying now? Of the 47, when they entered the buildings, 21 of them didn't have furniture. So they put furniture in the building. That means it was uncompleted. How pedestrian. How pathetic. How so pathetic. What happened to the 350? Mama, 200, you bet 350. What happened to the 350? You haven't even built one school. Not one. You haven't built a little kiosk. You haven't built one chicken coop. And kuko pesuba kuko munsi. And then when they ask them, you know what they say? We have done 1,700 renovations. So we've gone and painted the classroom block. That's a project. We have gone and replaced windows in an existing classroom. That's an achievement. And let us ask that how much do those things cost? How much do those things cost? You have the nerve to come and explain to us that you are spending 69 million cedis of our money traveling and it's okay. You spend so much on refreshment and it's okay. In these days when almost everybody is diabetic, you spend this kind of money on refreshment. If John Mahama has spent it, would you have been quiet? Would you have been quiet? You people have a lot of things to answer for. You should be ashamed of your... And when you came here today, Mujib, I expected contrition because you were a lot smarter than that. You know the truth. I expected contrition. I expected an explanation of what has gone wrong and why you haven't been able to do it. And let me say something for President Kufuor when he was in power. When he, at one point, when he was asked about all the promises that were unfulfilled, he said that, you know, when you are in opposition is one thing, when you come into power is another thing, when you know the facts. Under President Mahama, I said, most of your ministers owe President Mahama their lives. Because but for him, they will all be dead. I don't know what is more profound than that. He will be back. He will be back to continue what he started. And now, thankfully, Ghanaians know that you people are liars. You are criminals. Criminals extraordinaire.
Those are hard words.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Why? Let me go. Do you want me to go? I don't have time. I don't want to take too much of my brother's time. Let me go through some of the criminal activities. Where is your where is the head of the procurement agency, BPA? Have you finished investigating? Where is the investigation? Have you finished investigating?
It happens
in the administration of President Mahama, the Public Procurement Authority chairman. Can you stop? Under the administration of President Mahama, the Public Procurement Authority head was not found to be creating his own companies, giving the companies contracts behind the back, and calling what did you call it? Talent marketing agency. Talent marketing agency, a talent marketing agency that is building drains. When you are looking for talent, do you build drains? Do you build roads? Mujib, you people should be ashamed of yourself. Miscellaneous. All of a sudden, the deal to extend electricity in this country that you so roundly criticize, we found out that it was being extended by a whole $800 million. $800 million. It resulted in the sacking of the Minister of Energy. But guess what? The president said he was unaware. And we have all seen a letter that came from the presidency. We all know somebody signed the letter, but the president was not aware. You see, the person who signs letters on behalf of the president, there's a reason why the president himself doesn't sign those things. But there is an assumption that the president knows about it and has authorized the person to do it. So if you didn't authorize the person and the person has signed it and you say you are unaware, why is that person still a post? $800 million. And then there's PDS, where you took 22 billion cedis of our most prized asset in this country, right? And you distributed it like confetti to your friends, and they have collected revenue. They are still sitting on it. And the finance minister of this country wrote a letter to the police that there has been fraud. Up to today, has anybody been arrested? Wait, am I the one to ask them?
Of course you can.
From here, go there. From here, go there and go ask them.
Please wrap up for me.
Let me finish.
Mujib, let him
Don't worry. When you are talking, I will interject. I'm just telling you. So, in wrapping up, Ghanaians, someone, this is the kind of administration you voted for. December 7 is coming. No amount of intimidation will stop us from removing you. It doesn't matter how many armored cars you have imported from Israel, it won't stop us from removing you. It doesn't matter how many Humvees you erect M2 submachine guns on and bring it to you can bring it into the polling booth. Station a Humvee and a machine gun in the polling box. We will remove you. And when we remove you, go quietly and wait for what is coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Kojo Chumbuafo. If you're just joining us, this is the mother of all talk shows, Alhaji And Alhaji. We're live from the studios of Pan-African Television. Before I come to Mr. Pratt, Shine Gave is saying, I don't think anyone has anything against construction of toilets. Every government has, through the MMDAs, constructed 6 or more seater public toilets and have claimed them as achievements. What we are talking about before, the vice president should stop disgracing himself. And then let me end with one from my Kojo Fiagbe, who says, we, the people of Akachi North constituency, did not get anything from government infrastructure development. We're left out from the national cake, but our brothers from Akachi South thankfully got a urinal. That is from Kojo Fiagbe. And then Dr. David Percy says, on the infrastructural debate, a solitary speed ramp on Adenta High Street is a project. So is the Temaport expansion activity a project? By the MPP's upside-down logic, both carry the same weight. Mr. Pratt.
Well, look, I must say that I'm actually beginning to pity His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. I'm so full of pity for this young man. I really feel very sad for this young man. His parents and relatives must have spent a fortune educating him to the level that he got, a PhD. And I'm sure that the expectation was that he was going to grow up and become a tool for the accelerated development of Ghana. Through his own efforts, this young gentleman rose to become a deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana. And the future was unlimited as far as he was concerned. Now look at what has been done to him with his own involvement, his own acquiescence. Look at what has been done to him. Don't you feel pity for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia? Don't you feel sad for him? I really feel sad for him. Look, this is a man who comes from the northern region. He knows Tamale very, very well, that's all. And yet today, we are discussing a submission he made in which he claimed that Tamale is in Accra. Don't you feel pity for him? What could have led Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to claim that the rehabilitation of the Tamale Hospital, teaching hospital, is part of projects in Accra? I read this somewhere yesterday, and I was told that it was only a slip of tongue. What a slip! So when he was reading it, when he mentioned Tamale, it didn't strike him that he was talking about Tamale in the northern region. I am so embarrassed that a man can make a mistake like this and still have the effrontery to be referring to other people as incompetent. What an embarrassment! His Excellency Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia has now forgotten that Tamale is not in Accra. He doesn't know. I mean, incredible. But put that aside. Look, one of the things that have been said about Dr. Bawumia is that he is an expert on the economy of this country. He understands the economy and so on. He has a PhD in economics. Masa, you have a PhD in economics. Who doesn't know how to assess projects? He has no idea about how projects are costed. He doesn't even know what quantity surveying is, and so on. And yet, he sits as the chairperson of the economic management team of a government. One of the most ridiculous statements that he made was a statement that one interchange costs more than 3 interchanges. Such a ridiculous statement. A statement which will not be made by first year engineering students. They will make that mistake. First year students studying quantity surveying would not make that mistake. Basic. Now let's talk about the specifics. You see, 1, to assess the value, the cost of projects, any project, maybe a road project, maybe an interchange, maybe a story building, whatever. One of the first things you do is to examine the topography of the area where the project is sited. Basic. Because the topography can lead to serious cost variations. You understand? Is the place mountainous? Is it not mountainous? What is the level of the ground and so on? The geography of the area is important. The water level, all those things, the topography of the place is important in making this assessment. So if you build the same project, same design and everything at Ofanko, and you build a similar project in Tema, you are likely to have cost variations just because of the topography of the area. You understand? Dr. Bawumia did not take that into account. The design of projects, any civil engineer will tell you that the design of projects is also important in the determination of cost and so on, and many other things. Now here you have Dr. Bawumia in a very, very, very uninformed, pedestrian, whatever, looking Ghanaians in the face and telling us that the cost of one interchange is more than the cost of 3 interchanges. I couldn't believe it. When I heard it, I couldn't believe it. My brother, let's look at the specifics. If you take the circle interchange, the circle interchange was built with steel beams, steel iron beams. The Ofanko interchange is built with concrete beams. That alone shows you that the cost cannot be the same. And there's a reason why the circle interchange was built with steel beams and not concrete beams. 1, circle is one of the lowest points in Accra. Kwame Nkrumah Circle is one of the lowest points in Accra. That's a factor. Okay? So if you're building an interchange at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, your reinforcement and so on must be much, much stronger and higher than Ofanko. Simple fact. Okay? The other thing that is important to consider is that initially the Kwame Nkrumah interchange was valued at 74 million euros. All the facts are there. 74 million euros. That was the initial cost of the project. Now, how did the cost of that project rise? The cost of that project rose because an additional bridge was included. After the project had been estimated to cost 74 million euros, an additional bridge was included in the project. Then, roads in the area. It was also determined that roads in the area should be included in the project. Now, what are those roads? You see, the road between Mechanical Lloyd and State Transport Corporation leading to the graphic road was included in the cost of the project. Then the entire graphic road, which has been fully asphalted, was also included in the project. Then the road from the Kwame Nkrumah interchange leading to Adabraka was also included in the project. Now the road you know, when you descend the Kwame Nkrumah interchange and you're heading towards Accra, there's a right turn which passes through the official residence of the Ochehene leading to Graphic Corporation. That was also included in this project. Then the road from the interchange to Accra New Town, which has also been asphalted, was also included in this project. You see, the runabout around the New Times Corporation and the improvement of roads in the West Industrial Area was also included as part of this project. Then, in addition to that, a modern office block for the Accra Metropolitan Assembly was also included in this project. Then the statue and fountain in celebration of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was also included in this project. Also included in this project was the construction of a mosque in this project. Another addition which came to this project were 2 through stations. Now, why would the cost of the Kwame Nkrumah interchange be the same as the cost of the Ofankor interchange, which does not have any of these additions? And Dr. Bawumia did not know. After being, if he said this when he was in opposition, he could probably be excused. After being in government for 3.5 years, Dr. Bawumia did not know this. Incredible. You know, his performance was so bad and indefensible that it's actually taking my own good friend, Mr. Kwekubaku, to raise questions about some of the things that Dr. Bawumia said. In fact, Mr. Kwekubaku is on record to have said that there was value for money audit of the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. And that as far as he's concerned, there's no evidence anywhere that the cost of the interchange was inflated. Is this not sad? The other thing about this interchange comparison, which is shocking and should not have happened, is simply the fact, and many of our listeners have already sent messages, to that effect, that the cost of the Ofankor interchange was computed by the Mahama administration. The design of the Ofankor interchange was done by the Mahama administration. In fact, the sourcing of funds for the Ofankor interchange happened under President Mahama. So, when Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was comparing the circle interchange with the Ofankor interchange, Pokwasi interchange, whatever, Pokwasi interchange, what he was actually doing was that he was comparing Mahama's project to Mahama's projects. That's the exercise he was engaged in. I mean, it's so scandalous. This is so scandalous, it's unbelievable. Then, I recall, when President John Mahama was in power, anytime the government announced that it was undertaking some projects and so on, led by Peace FM, and I know what I'm talking about, reporters were dispatched to all parts of the country to go and ascertain the truth. In fact, when the E-blocks were being constructed, every now and then, Peace FM reporters were dispatched around the country. And you could hear them reporting live on Peace FM. The anchor would call them and say, hey, so I'm here in this village. What is happening to the E-block project? He said, oh, I came here this morning. They have just brought some stones and sand. Even the weeding of the place was not done properly, and so on. Then they will go to another town and say, oh, as for here, they have reached lintel level. The building has not been roofed, and so on. If I lie, tell me. what Peace FM did in those days was proper. It was holding government accountable. It was making sure that what our governments told us was verified and so on. And I commend Peace FM for doing that in the Mahama administration. My only problem is that they are not doing it now. Now government makes all kinds of claims and they don't care anymore. That's my problem. It's a good project. It is something which enlightened us, which enables us to test the things that government was telling us. Now, fortunately, some other media houses have taken on what Peace FM used to do, and they're doing it so excellently. After Dr. Bawumia's long speech comparing infrastructure development in the two administrations and so on, Joy FM went out. And they have put videos of what they discovered out for all of us to see. You remember that Dr. Bawumia mentioned a water project in Kanda. Water project in Kanda. Yeah. What Joy FM discovered was completely shocking. This is a project which has been abandoned for 2 years. All they did was to sink the hole, put a tube in the hole and seal the tube. The beneficiaries of that project are still fetching water from the gutter. In fact, the project area has been overgrown with weeds. This is a Joy FM report. I'm not the one saying it. I'm sure we've all seen it. Another station went to do fact-checking at Sekendi, where it is claimed by Dr. Bawumia that they built affordable houses. Masa, when I saw the video yesterday, I felt sad for Dr. Bawumia. Masa, virgin land, not even a hole has been used to scratch that place. That is the affordable housing project which has been built for the people of Sekendi. The people of Sekendi are watching this program. If I lie, they should send their messages. They should tell me that I'm a liar and so on. So the non-existent projects, there are many. Okay? Many. I mean, if I want to sit here and mention all the non-existent projects, we have to extend this program by another 8 hours. You understand? But you see, you put that aside. You put that aside. That's about non-existent project. Then there's another list of stolen projects. And my brother Chumbofu has already given us the statement which has been issued by Rotary Club International, telling us the projects that they built, they constructed with their own funds and so on, are now being claimed as government projects and so on. Rotary project, that's one, stolen. So many of them also there and so on. Now, I'm listening to all of this debate about infrastructure and so on, and anytime I listen to the debate, what happens to me is that I feel deeply sorry for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And I cannot understand why somebody like him is the person who is being deliberately sacrificed. Because he says one thing today, says the opposite tomorrow and so on. He says things which are not adding up and so on. Slowly, what is happening to him is that his credibility is being destroyed. And it is not his fault. He is instructed to go and do these things. I don't believe that the text he read was prepared entirely by him. A team must have prepared that text. And this is the text they gave to him to read. And he also with his eyes open, nose open, went and stood there and opened his mouth and read this. Don't you feel sad for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia? My brother, arising out of this is another major contention. I recall that when His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo went into isolation, he held a Zoom conference with his top communicators, a Zoom conference which was released to the world. In that Zoom conference, I heard the president say that Ghana today, we are going to go into an election where the two main contenders, these are his words, the two main contenders are a sitting president and an immediate past president. And therefore, rather than resort to insults and so on, it's important for them to engage in a comparison of the two administrations, what they were able to do and not able to do. Indeed, it was the president himself who called for that debate in that Zoom conference. He called for that debate. And I'm sure that when His Excellency the Vice President was going to do this infrastructural town hall meeting or whatever, it was to instigate that debate. How come that 48 hours after the debate has been instigated, the MPP and the presidency say they are not interested in a debate? What have they seen? They called for the debate. Why are they running away from the debate now? I didn't call for the debate. It was not the Convention People's Party which called for the debate. It was not the PNC which called for the debate. It was not the NDC which called for the debate. It was the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who called for the debate. Now, former President Mahama says that, yes, I'm ready for the debate. Let's have the debate. That indeed, you can choose your own venue. Choose your own empire. I will come and debate. Say, no, we don't want to debate. I listened to my good friend, Samia Uku. And Samia Uku says that, look, debate about infrastructure is not part of our plan at all. We are going for this election. We don't want any debate about infrastructure.
No, Chama, so the debate there is going on. Is it they should come on platform and tell us or what? They say the debate is going on. The Chama said, we should come on platform and then we don't have time for it.
A debate between Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and former President John Mahama. No, we don't want that debate.
No, we don't need it. The debate is out there. The people will judge. They will decide. We don't
That's
need
exactly
it.
what he said. You are just repeating what he said. So let him.
I want to remind Chairman that the debate is what we are doing.
Okay. He has laid foundation, so please allow him.
Yeah.
It is not about. It's not about whether NDC needs the debate or NPP needs the debate. It's about the people of Ghana knowing the truth. It's about the people of Ghana seeing the two leaders come with opposing facts and convincing us about who is telling us the truth. That is what the issue is about. It is not about me and Mujib sitting in this studio and talking the way we are talking. The people of Ghana want to see His Excellency John Dramani Mahama standing here, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo standing here. Nana Akufo-Addo to accuse Mahama of inflating the cost of the circle interchange, and for Mahama to defend himself. Is it true that the cost was inflated or not? And so on. We want to see that.
You want to see this feeling, Gani. 2016, why did you run away from presidential debate? Do you people said it? Oh, you ran away. Chairman, you ran away from presidential debate.
Who said you won't go on the debate?
Oh, no.
Please.
Oh, Jai. So we are recording now.
Mujib, please.
But you see, it's interesting how it is interesting.
Just like they are texting you.
You are truncating his flow. No, please, you are truncating his flow.
No,
let him talk, please.
It is interesting how after so many years of calling former President John Mahama incompetent and so on, the NPP now is afraid of putting him on a platform for him to display that incompetence. Because if he's as incompetent as you people have always claimed, let's see that incompetence in the debate. Bring him on the same platform with your presidential candidate. Let us see who is incompetent. Let us see who has the facts. Let us see who has a better analysis of our situation and so on. Now you are running away.
Who is running away? Nobody is running away.
So is the debate going to come on?
No. We have no call for any debate. We have no call for any debate.
So you haven't.
And the debate is out there. We have told the people of Ghana what we have achieved in infrastructure, and it's there. What?
The ordinary voter is calling.
But that is what we are doing.
Anyway, you have told us.
So what? So aren't you articulating the performance of former Mama?
Let him learn.
Mujib, you have told us.
So it was good for you yesterday when you ran away from debate. In 2016, you ran away from debate. Today, debate. Today, you think that with that debate, somebody is incompetent.
Okay, Master, it's okay. It's okay. Let us say that in 2016, NDC ran away from debate. Fine. Today, who is running away from debate?
Nobody. Nobody is running away from debate. Nobody has called for debate.
Anyway,
nobody is running away from debate.
Anyway, Master, let me finish. Yes, Mujib, it is true. You have told us about your achievements in infrastructure and so on. Those achievements include culverts. Culverts. Those achievements, it's okay, I finished.
Interesting. Please, 1 minute.
Sir, what I want to say is that.
So you are starting the next topic?
No, it's not the next topic, Chairman. Say wait there.
Chairman,
just small. No, Chairman, it is true that if like we have at a point have to show our nationalism, people have been underdeveloped for a period of time. Chairman, if culvert is the need of the people in that area to be able to transport their food from their farms to the main center for market purpose, and you provide them a culvert, is it bad?
I thought you were going to talk about.
No, is it bad? And I said that is why I have listened to Chairman so many years calling for basic amenities, provision of basic amenities to communities. Let's privilege people in society.
Today we are witnessing. We are live. We are back after this break with the other topics that we've listed.
Market Stories is all about our market. Issues such as sanitation, market structures, storage facility, pricing, bargaining, and everything else that goes on in the market. It's going to be very educative, entertaining, and interactive. We would visit our various markets with both sellers and buyers to know everything concerning our market. Join me. My name is Mortia Anandinate. I'm your market lady.
He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He is the Redeemer and the champion of liberty, of human equality. Let's salute him, fellow Ghanaians, the nation's founder, Sajifo Kwame Nkrumah. May God bless him.
Welcome back from that break. You're still live on Pan-African Television. The program is the mother of all talk shows, Alhaji and Alhaji. My name is Sena Nombo. Let me just remind you of those who are in the studio with me. Mr. Kwesi Prajina, who is a regular on the program. Mr. Kojo Chumboafo has joined us. Mujib Rahman and Margaret Anse Mago of the NDC campaign team has also joined us. Let me read a couple of your messages. This one is from name is not addressed. Sena Yalboaming has lied about a Denton project. For the records, the SWA Mahama administration was supposed to construct two polyclinics in the Denton municipality, one at Achaliboshi and the other at Ogbojo. A land dispute arose at Achaliboshi, which impeded the construction of the polyclinic. As a result, the polyclinic was moved to Ogbojo to add up to what has already been decided there. The project was in two phases altogether, that is phase 1 and phase 2. In 2015, the project witnessed a sword-cutting ceremony to commence the construction of the 30-bed polyclinic. This project was captured in the NDC's Green Book, specifically page 24, paragraph 5. Phase 1 of the project was completed with 20-bed capacity in 2016 before the NDC exited the office. We put pressure on them to complete phase 2, which they did and claimed ownership. He sent that from Buche. That's from Chris. Musa Batwa in Kumasi says, and after listening to factual presentation by Kwesi Pratt, I have no conclusion than Dr. Baumia has been the service for this nation. However, to settle this infrastructure brouhaha, why is President Akufo-Addo running away from the debate? John Mahama has unequivocally thrown a challenge to debate Akufo-Addo on all aspects of governance, be it on any platform. But whether Akufo-Addo has the balls to accept the challenge is another matter. When the fundamental of your infrastructure is weak, you run away from the debate. And that's from Musa Abatwa. David Sena says, in fact, Sami Oku says they would conduct the campaigns on their own terms. Why? Because he knows a debate between GM and their candidate will be disastrous for them. Thank you for that message. Julius Agahoa and Tahiros and Asawasi says, let me ask Dr. Baumia, did Nanado build the markets, Kejetia, Kotokraba, Salaga, and Tamale markets that have employed NAPCO guys in revenue collection? Did Nanado build the Terminal 3 that has employed thousands of Ghanaians? All those projects were built by the visionary leader GM. God bless GM for his initiatives in investing heavily in our infrastructure system during this regime. Those are just some of the messages you are sending to us. We're moving on to the discussion that has to do with issues with plans to mortgage mineral royalties over a period of time. And in return, we'll take some money. The money will be used immediately. But then it means that 76% of the royalties that will come from our mineral resources will be encumbered and be used to pay that loan over that period. There are questions about who are the directors of the company in question, who are the beneficial owners. There are those questions about why we decided to register that company in the tax haven. And then there is the issue that Wakam is raising. Why haven't we talked to the people whose these royalties belong to? Because royalties are supposed to go to the people. Have we had any consultations with the people? The minority has washed its hands of the entire project. And once again, I start with Margot, and I'm sure they'll give her the opportunity to also do some responses if she wants to.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether my brother was here to address me. Because he forgot that all he was supposed to say and started responding to me. For the records, I have never downplayed the need of basic social amenities in our communities. No. What I said was, we have done those things over the years, and it's our job as chief executives together with assembly members. If there is a school in an electoral area, then assembly member comes to the assembly, then assembly uses IGF to purchase roofing sheets for the assembly member to go and finish or, rehabilitate the place. I don't think it's a major project that warrants the sitting vice president to come and take 1 hour airtime, come into our homes and tell us about it. So please, my brother, that is not what I meant. Dr. Bawumia promised the entire Ghanaian population that by the end of 2018, every household, toilet and water will not be a challenge. So I am even surprised he's talking about toilet when every household in Ghana has it. Why is he talking about it now? Why? They are basic things. The presidency must come with some level of seriousness. That is what I meant. Leave those things for the unit committee members. The people are in the community, they will see. They know that they've seen the speed runs. If they are there, they will see. And he said they are not here to account to NDC members. They are accounting to Ghanaians. NDC members, why are we no more Ghanaians? We have a population of about 4 million. Aren't we Ghanaians? Are we not part of the Ghanaian population? Therefore, if we are pointing out the mistakes of the government, this government has a corporate, a social contract with its citizens, including NDC members. The opposition, if we are really practicing democracy, what is democracy about? Equality of political power. If you are doing something wrong and we are telling you, because we are all Ghanaians, therefore, in their response, they should know that NDC members are part of the Ghanaian population. So they should respond to us. But now, this Asase Ejapa royalty thing. This government, as soon as Nanado was sworn in as a president, it seems he started building a family legacy. And together with the family members, they started preparing for opposition, yet in control of Ghana's resources. We were in this country when an ambassador, Honorable Ayisi Boat, told members of the NPP TESCON fraternity on KNUST campus that if there are any opportunities, they will take care of NPP members first before any other citizens. So already, the citizenship of this country has been put into classes. We have the first class citizens, the second class, and until recently, some Ghanaians are even not Ghanaians. They can determine your nationality by your handwriting. And when we were learning French in basic schools, that our French teachers were lashing us here and there. Nanado is now telling us that when you speak French, you are not a Ghanaian. Georgia Ise told TESCON members that they would take care of MPP members. We thought after, criticizing him and trying to tell him that, no, this is discrimination, we thought it was going to end there. We were in this country, then we had the MPP vice chairman, Eko Ewusi, of the Central Region, in a conversation with the minister, Honorable Frimpong Boate, that MPP party needs money. Therefore, they should allow MPP members to destroy our water bodies, destroy our lands by engaging in galamsey, because the MPP party needs money. This party is so self-centered that everything is about MPP and themselves. The Ghanaian factor doesn't come. We didn't hear anything about it. Then PDS. Sena. PDS contracts, the Compact 2 of the Millennium Challenge Corporation, it was signed in 2014. This government came, instead of continuing as former President Mahama and the late Professor Mills did, by even when they were going to commission the N1, they went with President Kufuor. These people came and changed the whole thing and looked into our eyes and told us that we peg the foreign content at 80% maximum and peg the local content at 20% minimum. Therefore, we do not like Ghanaians at all. 20% minimum, 80% maximum. This government told us we hate Ghanaians. Therefore, they love Ghanaians. They are going to give 51% to Ghanaians. And who were the Ghanaians? The Yejiamine people. The cronies, the friends of President Nana Addo. Over the 100 tribes we have in this country, across the 16 administrative regions, one tribe is more Ghanaian, about 80% Ghanaian, than the rest of us. What happened in the end? The Minister for Finance wrote a 9-page document that all that happened was fraud. Yet that minister is at post. Family and friends has killed this country within this 4 years. Because if the finance minister is a cousin of the road and highway minister or the PPA, whatever, they do the shoddy things and come up. Because if I'm a minister of roads and highway or I'm a minister of energy and I'm doing something wrong and it will go through my brother, my cousin who is a finance minister, blood, they say, is so thicker than water. So the genesis of this government corrupt behavior is the family and friends thing. We were in this country when these people were in opposition. There was an alleged tape by the senior minister of Safumafu claiming that the resources of this country belong to some tribes. Therefore, they should rule this country, unlike the other minority tribes who don't have gold and other resources. When these things came out, we thought they were jokes. But Nana Addo and his government, they never disappoint. We saw a number of companies, including Pakwesi Indum companies, that, oh, when these people come, they will collapse them. We thought it was somebody who sat down and did all this. Nana Addo doesn't disappoint at all. All these things have come to play. And now, the royalties that we get, you see, when we use cocoa for the Bui Dam loan, it was so reasonable. Cocoa, we don't manufacture cocoa, but we have measures to put in place to grow more of the products so that we can facilitate our loans or service our loans. Gold, we do not have control over it. This is something that a deity has given to us as a nation. Everybody inclusive. You don't know how the gold will vanish or how it will come. You are going to use it as a collateral to seek for just 500 million loan. So tomorrow, if we wake up and there is no mineral beneath the earth, how are you going to service that loan? How are you going to pay that over 15-year loan? How are you going to pay? Are you going to look for another loan to go and pay? Have this government thought of all this? Something that you have no control of. Then you boldly enter into an agreement which is so shredded in secrecy. You are managing an economy, a nation, and you want to secure our royalties against some peanuts, and we don't know the owners of the company, the directors. You think Ghanaians are not obliged to know? Why? Do they think this nation is like a company they are managing? Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo went to individual homes. At a point, went and sat in Trotro, ate with people. People were eating their ampesi and palavasol. He sat and ate with them. For what? He was begging them for them to give him the opportunity to come and serve. As soon as this government came, it is behaving like a lord, like a demigod over us. Meanwhile, you are supposed to serve us. You something that belongs to an entire nation. You are using it for something, and you think we don't have, or we don't merit for knowing what is into it, who are the directors, and the company, tax haven. We know what this tax haven thing on the island, we know what they do. You want us to engage in this thing, so tomorrow this company will be involved in any fraudulent act or money laundering, and as a nation, we are comfortable with it. That I heard someone explaining that, oh, because we don't want to pay taxes. You are working, you are investing. You don't want to pay taxes, but yet you want investors to come into your country and pay taxes. Is that the practice? Is that what you want people to know about us? Is that what you do? You are comfortable telling us. Let us know who are the directors. In the first place, you have 3 months to go. Why the rush? Or you want to control our minerals whilst you are staying in opposition, as you wanted to do with PDS? You want to sit at home and control the nation's resources. Please, Ghanaians, these people, they are stealing from us. This NPP government feels that they are more Ghanaian than any other tribe apart from the Achimebuakwa tribe. Even in the eastern region, amongst even the Achims, we have the Kotoku and the Bosome. Just this Ebuakwa tribe. They want to tell us that they owe everything. Their fathers are in charge, their forefathers are in charge. Therefore, everything must come to them. And that is what they are doing. We must resist. Sena, we must resist and let this government account for everything. How can you enter into an agreement that even when the directors are involved in anything wrong, you cannot change them? Nana Akufo-Addo give his daughter to a man to marry under this contract, that no matter what the man does, you have to stay, don't come home. Even when he's killing you, stay, don't come home. Can he do that? Just one person. Can he sacrifice him? Then you are sacrificing the whole nation. Because you know you are going into opposition, yet you want to control. These people did not come to serve us. They came to build a family legacy. They came to enrich themselves. We are telling the Ghanaian that these people are stealing from us. They stole through PDS, Ameri, a lot of them. But at this point, all those nitty-gritty doesn't matter to the Ghanaian voter anymore. All that we are appealing to them is, these people are not what they claim to be. They have come to steal, to destroy. They think that Ghana is for them, and we are subjects. Let's go into the ballot, December 7th, and vote out this uncaring, insensitive, clueless government. Let's vote them out. And when John Dramani Mahama, the next president, comes, they will account for every penny. 1 cedi, they will account for it. And we shall take those monies, bring it back into the communities and develop Ghana. We will not come and build speed ramps and come and project it to the entire country. We will come and give Ghanaians the dignity and integrity they deserve as Ghanaians. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Just a few messages. Mujib, I'll come to you shortly. Jang Matthew is saying, why are they still defending all this thing? In fact, Ghana is dying, you know. Edem Jamposa says, very, very sad after borrowing so much in the name of Ghana. Habib Bantu says, Sena, governance is a serious business. But the way and manner Akufo-Addo and Bawumia and all their supporters have reduced governance into is a pity. Lies, deceits, including plagiarizing projects of JDM. You see, MPP is confused. The debate is a must. Akufo-Addo can't run away. MPP, we can read through the lines, no matter the lies, no matter what. The lies cannot save the MPP. Come December 7th, protect your ballot box. Let your vote count. Sylvanus Odogu says, Sena, please tell Mujib that he is okay. How on earth can you borrow even more than all governments put together since independence, and yet nothing to show for it but toilets? Mujib, the place Dr. Bawumia stood this and peddled this pure falsehood was built by JM, and you want us to clap for toilets. God save this country from this nation wreckers. Chief Odogu sent that one. Okay. Rukaya Abubakar says, Sena, Uncle Pratt has said it all. Nanado, Bawumia, and Kennedy Japan belong to conspiracist groups and conspiracy agenda to rule the country with lies, deceit, and thievery, just as Trump is doing here in the US, and we Ghanaians are doomed with 4 more years of Nana. Let me end with Sapi Agbo. He says, of course, who doesn't know that Bawumia is very empty? His presentation at the town hall was very pedestrian, but don't blame him, because he was playing to a gallery made up of people in the caliber of Untumi and Abronye. Would you?
Texas way there sometimes. Sena, yes, on the Ajapa royalties, I want to state clear, I am for, let's get things very clear. The questions some of people are asking, I think they are legitimate and they need answers, because you can't be forming a company, entering into agreement with government, maybe those behind those companies are not known. Are we operating with ghosts? But my problem is sometimes some of this major contractual agreement don't just go like that. They go to parliament, and parliament is an arm of government. So now when you go to parliament, the parliament has their select committees, and in the select committees they are constituted by both majority and minority, and a lot of the work goes through at the committee level. Okay. And some of these things that they come to tell us that, oh, government is doing this, government is doing that, we don't know it. Sometimes it worries me. I ask myself, but what is the role of parliament? Senior, can't you ask some basic questions and ask for certain documents to be given to the parliamentary committee to scrutinize? If they refuse, why do you go ahead and passing the agreement in parliament? I think that it is in the interest of all of us to make sure we get good deals for the people of this country. So I am still studying the agreement, but one thing I want to put out there is that it is not out of place, my dear, to enter into some of this agreement if it conforms with our laws. So now I think that is what allows government to go into it is the Income Investment Act that Parliament passed somewhere in 2018, Act 978, and the President assented to it, so it becomes law. And which are
actually, there's an amendment that the President has not assented to yet.
Is that it?
Yes.
So maybe as I'm looking at it, I'll get it. So, but it is within. So, and in that, if you look at that section, that act, and section 2 of the act is telling us that the objectives of the fund are stated under section 2 of Act 978 are to A, maximize the value of the income due to the Republic from mineral wealth of the country for the benefits of its citizens. B, monetize the mineral income accruing to the Republic in a beneficial, responsible, transparent, accountable, and sustainable manner. And C, develop and implement measures to reduce the budgetary exposure of the Republic to minerals income fluctuations. So now I think that based on some of these things, so if government is taking a decisions that is in the paramount interest of the people of Ghana, I don't think that we should always try to just paint it black and politicize it. But whether it is 2 months or 3 months for you to go, you are still the President of the Republic of Ghana, and you can take certain critical decisions. So, but let's be interrogating how beneficially that contract or agreement will be to the people of Ghana. But as I am still also looking at it, but we can't have a company entering into an agreement like this and some of this directed. And it is within our right, and the laws allow us to know who are those behind the companies. But why? So, Sena, that is why I said sometimes it is not only the executives. Let's look at the other arms of government. They too have to play their role. They have to be proactive. So now we've learned elsewhere. Sometimes when it comes to major interests of the Republic of other countries, you don't see party lines. Both majority and minority come together and take government on and make sure the right things are done for the betterment of all of us as a people. So as I am looking at it, and this is what I have to say, but looking at the act and all those, I don't think so far government is out of place. But if there's anything that the public needs to know, I think it is within their right to vent it out, and it is the responsibility of government to make every available document out there for the people to know. But most of the people to need to know our laws. It is also very important. So now, so you put some of this information out there, the impression is that, oh, government is corrupt, government is stealing. Meanwhile, government is acting in tandem with the laws of the land. So that is how it is. So we have seen other past contracts too, Sena. And nobody, and they were They were done in conformity with laws. Even though maybe you might be the beneficiary, I don't like you, or you are related to her, but you are a Ghanaian and you have benefited and you have passed the due process of law. So what is my worry? My worry will be that how beneficiary is that agreement or contractual agreement to the people of Ghana. That is my problem. And when you look at the act, whatever money that will be taken, we'll use it to develop the country. And you can't do those things, some of these contracts, if it will not go to parliament. So, Sena, I think basically that this is what I have to say. But I'm also
the aspects like the economy, security, foreign policy, health, education, etc., that Ghanaians would like to hear. So the debate must come on.
But if it was specific. But it's okay. Let's
debate.
Move
yes. David Sena says, good points there. Margot, good points there. By the way, why would government give such personal name to a huge government company like Japan royalties, which will vanish off national psyche with time and allow those behind it take over and enjoy their loot at the expense of the state? Let me also just read 2 comments from our Facebook page. And Augustine M. Kobner says, no one is saying toilets are not important. We are not saying speed ramps are bad. We are not saying urinal stations are not good. What we are saying is that for a government that has had more money than all governments put together from independence, they should be showing us bigger infrastructure projects, including the toilets and urinal stations. Showing us only urinal stations and classroom block is mediocre and an insult to our intelligence, because GM did millions of such and still built all the mega infrastructure dotted across the length and breadth of Ghana. Mujib shouldn't indulge in this comedy of mediocrity anywhere again. Kojofiagwe says, in the next 3 months, our sufferings will be over. Okada riders will be working in freedom. Apprentices will start taking money at the end of every month. Masters will start getting big contracts. Small businesses will not be paying any tax. New businesses will not pay taxes for 2 years. Sena, let's pray and wait for the next 3 months. Mr. Chumbafo.
Sena, before I go to this Japan Sasi, whatever it is, Isumu royalties, whatever it is they want to call it, let me address something. You see, when we talk about some of the legacy that Dr. Bawumia will leave as a politician, it's important to situate it in his own words. It's important that we look at his own words. Sena, Dr. Bawumia told us before he became vice president that by the end of the term of an Akufo-Addo government, every single Ghanaian will have a bank account. A few months ago, you know what he said? He said, if you have a mobile money platform, you have a bank account. I mean, you see, this is the level of depravity that he has sunk to. And let me repeat. Dr. Bawumia told us that every single Ghanaian will have a bank account. Today he says, if you have a Momo account, you have a bank account. My sister has already spoken about every Ghanaian having a toilet. So if you have a toilet and free water in your household, go and vote for him. He also told us that the exchange rate, remember his famous edict, that your exchange rate will expose you if the fundamentals are weak. When Dr. Bawumia took over as vice president of this country, the exchange rate was 4 cedis. Today it's nearly 6 cedis. So the cedi to dollar ratio has depreciated by a whole 33%. That simply means that if you had 900,000 cedis in savings in 2014. Today, in real terms, it is worth only 600,000 cedis. You recall that he said that they had locked the interest rates, put handcuffs on it, and given the keys to the IGP. And IGP, they subsequently proceeded to sack when he only had 3 weeks left on his contract. Incidentally, during his submission, Dr. Bawumia forgot to mention the cathedral. He never spoke about the cathedral. You see, Mujib, stop. You see, if they want to talk about infrastructure, the one thing that nobody will quibble with them on is the cathedral. That was meant to be a cathedral as a promise for God. So we took down new houses that had been built for judges. They put boarding, went to get a stone from Israel, put it in the ground, and today there's still a hole in the ground. Never mind that the NPP government have forgotten that the nation of Israel is not even a Christian nation. It's a Judaist nation. So talk about people who don't read. Talk about people who are daft. They went to Israel to take a stone as a cornerstone of a Christian edifice when the nation of Israel is a Judaist nation. They don't even believe in Jesus Christ. You see, one of the other reasons why some of us are calling for a debate is that the things that we cannot quibble with, every government comes into power, they have achievements. You know, and my brother Kwesi has been saying that we took people like Achampon, we put them to a stake and shot them. North Kaneshi Estates, Achampon. Dansuma Estates, Achampon. Low cost housing, Fadama, Achampon. Bon, hydroelectric project, Achampon. And yet we shot him. For whatever reason. And if we are applying that standard to today, the one thing that on a debate stage, President Mahama will not be able to quibble with Akufo-Addo on is that Akufo-Addo has legalized the medicinal use of weed. It is a policy he owns. We won't quibble with him on that. I don't have any problem with it at all. Many people have said it's a good idea. So those are the things that they should come and talk about. When President Mahama is talking about the things he has done, he should come and say, but I legalize weed. It's beautiful. Mujib, now let me go to Asasi, Ejepa, Isumu, Katashe royalties, whatever it is that they are doing there. You see, my brother Mujib is very sharp. So he succinctly tried to tell us that it has been taken to Parliament, it is law, and that the parliamentarian should have spoken about it if it was a problem. Mujib, apartheid was law. Apartheid. It was law. It was passed by Parliament. Apartheid. It was law. Extermination of Jews during the 1940s. It was law. By Hitler and his gang. It was law. Jews not being able to own businesses in Germany at the time was law. So, taking, excuse me to say, criminally deviant law to Parliament to pass because you have a majority is not new. The people who do it hope to cloak themselves in those laws so that if they are no more there, they can point to it and say, but it was law. You take, oh, but what was the Preventive Detention Act replaced with? Please, Kwesi, educate me. The PDA was replaced with the same thing. What did they call it?
Protective custody law.
Protective custody law. Same thing. So you can't distract me. I'm too focused. I'm too focused for the distractions. Let me finish. Let me finish. You see, when you have a majority in parliament, I can take legislation to parliament and say, Mujib, you are half caste, you are copper colored, your mother was a white woman, and all of them will be browbeaten and write it, and it's okay. You are aware that the minority was complaining that this thing was brought at midnight, the night before parliament was to rise. So there was no time for it to even go to committee to debate. And there's something that people are missing. Many people are missing when they talk about this thing. They say that we earn about $200 million from minerals a year. So some people have come up with a really brilliant idea. Let us go and mortgage 75% of it to a certain company. We have got an incorporated entities in Jersey. I must confess, I mean, but what I understand is this. If you are going to earn 500 million in 2.5 years, why do you go and mortgage that 500 million to somebody and collect the money and pay over 15 years? Does it even begin to make sense? So that you can steal the money. And then you have president's relatives and his friends acting as transaction advisors and collecting huge fees, 10 million cedis. It is in the document that Achidaku has been paid 10 million cedis. That is the reason why they do what they do. He has collected the money, done and dusted. Doesn't give a crap. And if you were interested in having money for development, you should have thought carefully about handing 1.8 billion cedis of our tax revenue to the Electoral Commission to go and conduct a useless, needless exercise in disenfranchising areas for the sake of winning elections again. Because guess what? That exercise was useless. You spent 1.8 billion cedis on it. The airways still registered. They still registered. You spent 1.8 billion cedis sending our army mounted on Humvees, holding all kinds of machine guns to go and supposedly parade the borders, stop people from registering in Banda, claim that people wrote in Togolese. And then today, you say that you need $500 million. So you are going to go and mortgage that money that we are going to earn anyway in 2.5 years, so that some of your cronies can take transaction and agent fees. And when it came to paying those fees, with the quickness it has been paid. There are contractors who are owed money from 5 years ago, they haven't been paid. Because when they came to power, what did they do? They said they had halted most of the contracts, construction contracts that the NDC had given out. You claim government is in continuity. You halted it, said they were going to vet the contracts, paid another 10 million cedis to Cynthia Morrison's husband. Cynthia Morrison, her husband. So you see, the friends and family, up to today, we don't know the outcome of that vetting process. They paid 10 million cedis to Morrison and Morrissey. That man is Cynthia Morrison's husband. She's an MP and a minister for gender. So this is what you people are doing. When are you going to stop it? And you are asking Ghanaians to give you another 4 more to steal more, 4 more to engage in friends and family, have one person himself in government, his mother is in government, his father is in government, all his siblings are in government. And yet you claimed that one person, Madam Joyce Bauer, who was President Mahama's niece, was a deputy minister, and it was a problem. But when you ask them, the MPP will tell you that as for Nana's relatives, they are qualified. And yet, if we put those so-called qualifications to strict proof, what you will find is that some of them graduated on Sunday. Some of them failed law school exams and were passed by fiat. And the list goes on and on and on and on. But be that as it may, we are not quibbling with what they are doing. They can do whatever they want. But at the end of the day, the people of this country are owed some common decency. Some common decency in government. Common decency. You said that President Mahama travels around in convoys. It was one of the charges against President Mahama. Today, when the president is traveling, it is not unusual to count 60 brand new Land Cruisers. Apart from his own, he makes it 61. We have purchased them. And yet, we claim that we need money, for which reason we are going to mortgage our mineral royalties for 15 years as against what we can collect in 2.5 years. Where I come from, we have a saying. Say, so what the Mahama government will do is that we are going to do what is important, not what we find expedient. We are going to do what the people of Ghana need, and not what we as politicians want to steal and hide. Look around you. Nakra, airport, ridge, cantonments. Every single plot of land you can find there is being developed. And when you go, ask who owns them. It's the who is who in their friends and their family. Some are building multi-million-dollar mansions with underground car parks. Underground car parks. But you know what? The time will come. Nothing will be hidden. Let me just finish my submission by letting my brother Mujib understand this. Mujib, nobody is saying toilets are not important. Nobody. Because for most people, when you need to go to the toilet, it's probably the most important call of nature, because if you don't go, something really bad will happen. But if you take this exercise, this is exercise in chicanery. Look at this. Mpempro and coconut leaves, bamboo sticks and coconut leaves. And you tell us that you have given us $3 million, and this is what it pays.
My brother.
It is shocking.
To construct
it is shocking. Keep it. I brought it for you. Keep it.
So now you allow him show his name. This
Keep
is
it.
your propaganda.
Why should you allow? It's on your website.
It's not there. It's not there. I've just checked around. It's not there.
Mujib, as my last act on this program today, I present to you this beautiful scroll. Keep it.
Thank you.
And frame it.
Thank you, Mr. Chumba. Before I come to Mr. Pratt, this is from Enoch Jetiate, who says, please tell Mujib to advise Nanado to take advantage of the debate to prove how incompetent President John Mahama is. You have been calling JM and his administration incompetent for almost 8 years, and you don't want to debate. No way. We have enough excavators to excavate the president to the debate. Davi Sena says, before the so-called sword cutting for the cathedral, judges' bungalows that a few years earlier had been renovated at huge expenses were demolished. Then we relocate the judges into new bungalows at equally huge state expense. If this isn't causing financial loss to the state, then what is? Angelo Kojefia says the leadership of the NDC should know that their inaction against Martinamidu in 2016 is what has emboldened people like Alhaji Jacob to be misbehaving today. So now we have worked hard and finished at the grassroots, left with them at the top to bring us the power. It is time to sack Alhaji Jacobs, he says. And then finally, this one is from Akokeru. Akokeri Tiero. He says the projects that Bawumia showed Ghanaians really goes to confirm that this Akufo-Addo-led government has done remarkably well, and Ghanaians shall give him 4 more years to do more. The NDC has no message, and we won't waste our votes on JM again. Ghana deserves better, he says. Mr. Pratt.
Please, I ask to give me 30 seconds to highlight something. You recall that in the preamble to our president winning the last election, in a plot adjacent to his house, there were hawkers there.
In front, yeah.
He used to go there to go and eat with them and tell them what he would do for them when he becomes president. When he became president, you know what he did? He sacked them from the place with the force of arms, and he has planted grass and flowers there today. Mujib, you want to quibble with that one too?
No, it's not true. It's not true.
It's true.
It's not true.
No, you see,
No, it's not true.
it is true.
It is not true.
People.
It's not true. They are not there. But of course, you should know.
Where are the
No, you
people?
should know. You should know. When you become president, you are no longer yourself, but you are the property of the state.
But why
This
didn't
was
you
taken
tell
by
them?
the national security,
it was
and
a
they
decision of
engaged
the
the
state.
people. They engaged the people in a very.
They engage them.
Oh, they engage the people.
Okay.
Some were settled.
Thank you.
Uncle
Some were
Joseph, please
settled.
go on.
And they have
They
taken.
engage the people.
They
and
engage
sack
the
them.
people.
They engage the people and sack them with guns.
No, but it is true they are no longer there. But they didn't sack
So
them.
why
with
didn't he
roaches.
tell them?
Like you are talking.
Why didn't
Please.
he tell them that when I become president, I will sack you? Because I will.
But when you're
Thank
president,
you.
it's not all the things that you want
Thank
to get because the state is responsible.
Please, that's not part of the debate, Mr. Pratt.
Well, I mean, Sena, we are talking about the state of the Ghanaian economy. That's what we're going to be talking about. We are asking ourselves whether indeed it makes sense to mortgage Ghana's mineral wealth for 15 years. Whether it makes sense to hand over the management of national revenue derived from the exploitation of our mineral resources to some company, whoever owns the company, whether it makes sense at all to do that. Now, fortunately for us, the Daily Graphic of last Thursday, August 20th, published an article which describes Ghana's economy in a graphic way. And I think it's important that everybody reads this article. I read it last Thursday, and I've reread it twice since I read it, because it's a very instructive article published on page 28 of the Daily Graphic of Thursday, August 20, 2020. And I will read aspects of this article written by a young journalist called Maxwell Akalari Adumbila. He's a journalist of the Graphic who specializes in business reports. And the title of his article is Economy Entrapped by Debts. says Ghana's debt stock has risen to 258.4 billion Ghana cedis, raising concerns about the country's debt profile. The spike in borrowings in recent times has caused the national debt stock to hit a green milestone of 258.4 billion Ghana cedis in June this year. More than double the 111.8% of the national debt stock as of December 2016, which stood at 122 billion Ghana cedis. Don't forget, I'm reading from the graphic. Don't forget. He said, combined with other physical slippages, the increased borrowing has boxed the country into a tight corner that now requires that more than 3/4 of total revenue and grants, are used to service the interest and pay down the principals. The development has also complicated the fiscal rigidities bedeviling the economy, resulting in many aspects and think tanks concluding that the country could only turn the tide when its debts are forgiven. Very important statement. Similar to what happened under the highly indebted poor countries and multilateral debt relief initiative MDRI program in 2002. The serious nature of national debt stock in recent times is the result of stagnation in revenues and grants within the period. Data from the Ministry of Finance showed that while annual revenue growth averaged about 19% prior to 2017, it fell to around 12.6% between 2017 and 2020. In response, the government boosted its appetite for debt to be able to fund statutory and discretionary expenditures. Broadly, this has now entrapped the economy into a debt web that ensures that new loans are taken to retire old ones, thereby entrenching and compounding the burden. I could go on and on. Sena, are you not frightened by this picture? What you are being told now is that since 2016, that's the reference year, since 2016, the economy of Ghana has become so bad that if we add all our national revenues, if we put all our national revenues together, and we add grants, monies we get for free, grants, free money, all the monies we get for free from donors and so on, if we add all of that to our national revenues, we spend 3/4 of that to service our debts. Are you not frightened? What we're being told is that Ghana's economy has since 2016 sunk so low that we are now at 2002 levels. Epic situation. That's where we are. What you're being told is that now Ghana borrows money in order to pay debt. You understand what I'm saying? We don't. So when people ask, how come that we have borrowed so much and yet there's nothing to show for it? There will be nothing to show for it because we are borrowing to pay debts. Sena, you see where we are? This is how bad our economic situation has become. Now, Sena, listen. If you read Kwame Nkrumah's book, Africa Must Unite, he makes a general point about Africa, which is also applicable to Ghana. The general point he makes about Africa is that, look, Africa has more than 50% of the total resources of the world, and yet the people of Africa are so poor. Now, this is not so different from what Bawumia said in 2015 or thereabout. And the president said in 2015 or thereabout, you know that kind of thing. So, you understand? Now, what are we being told? I'm so frightened. Our gold, our oil, our gas, our diamonds,
Bauxite.
our manganese, our bauxite, and all the others. We are signing an agreement to consign revenues from the exploitation of this, the exploitation and marketing of these resources to a private company. If our government cannot manage resources from our mineral wealth, what are they doing in the Flagstaff House? What business do they have in the Flagstaff House when they so publicly admit that they cannot manage resources from our mineral wealth, the revenue we generate from our mineral wealth? The Minister of Finance, what is he doing in the ministries there? What is he doing there? If the revenues we are going to derive from the exploitation and marketing of our minerals are going to be consigned to a private company. Now, what kind of a private company is that? What kind of a private company has more capacity than the whole of Ghana? What kind of private company is that? Interestingly, that private company has a Ghanaian name. You understand? I know that some of the multinational corporations and so on have assets whose value are bigger than the GDP of Ghana and so on. So maybe if it was some giant multinational corporations and so on, one would say that they have enormous resources and so on. This is a Ghanaian company. Who is behind the company? Who owns the company? Mujib, you are looking at me with some eyes. Who is behind that company? Who owns that company? That company called Ejapa. And the company had a name before. The company used to be called Asase. Now it is called Ejapa. Ejapa, Asase. Who are the people behind Ejapa and Asase? And these are questions that we should ask, and we should get answers for these questions. Look at the state of the Ghanaian economy reported by Daily Graphic of August 20, just last Thursday. Look at the state. What the graphic is saying is that Ghana is bankrupt. This is the page 28. This is bankruptcy. We are bankrupt. I mean, the economy is so, the state of the economy is so bad that when we collect all our revenues and we add grants, we will spend 3/4, not 1/4, 3/4 on debt servicing and the payment of principals. Master, are you not afraid? Are you not worried about our present and future? I recall that in 1976, we were so alarmed when some studies suggested that 2/3, not 3/4, so 2/3 of our total national revenue was being expended on debt servicing. We were so alarmed. That was 1976. Today, it is 3/4 of national revenue plus grants. Hey, Now listen, when Mr. Setekwe was Minister of Finance, he told us that close to 60% of national revenue or more was being expended on the payment of public sector workers, the wages and salaries of public sector workers. We were frightened and horrified. When Ken Ofori-Atta became Minister of Finance, he repeated the same thing. So if you are spending 3/4 of national revenue plus grants on debt servicing and principal payments, how can you find 70% of national revenue which you need to pay your public sector workers? What this means is that if we stop borrowing, we can't pay workers. The day we stop buying, we can't pay workers. We are paying workers with borrowing. Should I say more? I have finished.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me just read a couple of messages, comments that are made directly on the conversation we're having today. Adabla Gosin Kujo says, NDC have strong women like Madame giving strong jabs like this. I expected Mujib to throw in the towel. And he says, good morning. Nelson Anani Keku says, good morning, Sana. In fact, I salute Mr. Pratt this morning. He always makes sense in his analysis. May the good Lord continue protecting his life in Jesus' name. Two messages that are directed at Kojo Chumbuafo. Sam Godwin Agbeve says, Kojo, you are very eloquent and knowledgeable. I love to hear you speak. You and Professor Kwesi Pratt must always be on this program. Benedict Tesson says, I can't find Chumbuafo on social media. Please tell him I want to follow him. I want to learn to speak like him. So wish to follow him everywhere. Just love his passion and intelligence. Well, a big thank you for watching the program for today. That should bring it to a close today. And a big thank you to our partners. Ahunto 92.3 FM, which is in Accra. I understand we are on Nyewasi Radio in Ketekrache. We are also on several other radio affiliates, including Bawa Radio in Yendi, who have joined us recently. We're also on Volta 1 TV in Ho. A big thank you to all those partners for providing us the platform. Yeah, I'm sure we are in WA. We are just still trying to figure out who is tuned into us. So sometimes people, yes, yeah. So we are still trying to figure out who is tuned into us. A couple of you have gotten in touch. So if you can get in touch, it will be very helpful so that we can acknowledge those of you who are tuning into us whenever we are on. So a big thank you to all of you. Let me just say a happy birthday to Obobia Dako Opoku. Who is the Deputy Communications Director of the National Democratic Congress, a former colleague at Radio Gold. One other colleague is also celebrating his birthday today, Kobi, who used to do deal with carpentry issues at Radio Gold for us. He's also celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday also to Robert Kofi in Sweden. Happy birthday to Achulogo, and happy birthday to Christopher Sam Mlafo. But happy belated birthday. Yesterday was the birthday of Stephen Kobna Ato, a very good friend. Happy belated birthday to you. Well, let me just do some small personal acknowledgement and then I'll close the show. This one is a bit personal to me because well, let me say a big thank you to Togbe Aite Avaga the fourth, Holantato Dadoto Dekpe Dumega, Kwesi Agbesi and Franka Haji, DDT, and thanks to all of them. They have been very supportive in work towards burying my grandmother who recently passed on. So we are working on that, and the family says a big thank you to you for your continued support.
Can I do something?
Okay.
Something very briefly. You know, this program has been through 3 radio stations. The last radio station which hosted this program was Radio Gold. Yeah. And when Radio Gold was closed, we felt that it was important to save this program. So we brought the program here. As a matter of fact, the staff of Radio Gold, who are still hanging on and so on, none of them gets paid. So for all this period that Radio Gold has been paid, it has been closed, they don't receive pay, In fact, they use their own meager resources, either from their families, from their wives, and so on, in order to get around and so on. And since this program came here, Sena has hosted this program. Every Saturday he's here, sometimes buying the newspapers with his own money and so on. It is some sacrificial job, some sacrifice that we highly appreciate at Pan-African Television. He has been doing this job without a penny being paid to him and so on. And I just like to take this opportunity and as part of the team which is managing this station to say thank you very much to Sena for all the sacrifices that you have made. They are highly appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the opportunity and for the platform. It's always wonderful sitting here listening to you, by the way. I will miss that opportunity every day. But I'd like to say a big thank you to Mr. Kwesi Pagina, who is managing editor of the Insight newspaper. It's personal tragedy over the weekend, and we know that you'll bounce back. This is the first time you experienced that in a long time. But this is the man who walks out of prison and goes back to write the same thing for which he was put in there. But so a big thank you for joining us always. And Mr. Kojechu, always wonderful to listen to you. And also to Mujib Rahman, who is from the New Patriotic Party. A big thank you. It's always wonderful having Margot around. Margaret Anse, who is the deputy spokesperson of the NDC campaign team.
We appreciate it.
My name is Sena Nombo. A big thank you to a wonderful crew here at Pan-African Television and to the crew around various radio stations across the country. A big thank you to those of us who watch, listen, and send in your messages. We are back same time next week. We have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week.
He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He is the Redeemer and the champion of liberty, of human equality. Let's salute him, fellow Ghanaians, the nation's founder, Sergeant Kwame Nkrumah. May God bless him, Ghana showboy, Africa's great song, Sergeant Dr. Nkrumah.